Monster Bucks hunting tip features Brad Harris of Bowman Game Calls. Brad's going to talk about the use of grunt calls and how sometimes louder is better.
You know, we all know how effective grunt deer calling is, and I would not go in the woods without a grunt deer call. Wouldn't even think about climbing up my tree unless I had a grunt deer call with me. And I think most hunters are that way. But you know, there's days that I can blow a grunt call and deer just simply won't hear it because of how windy it is or the range that I'm trying to call. Hunting a lot of open country, I found out that I needed some extra range to get deer to come in. Or windy days in the timber, I needed some extra volume to make bucks hear my call. If they can't hear it, they won't come. That's why we designed the Realtree Monster Bucks grunt call. It's got the little funnel on the end, the Realtree funnel that allows that high tonality sound to echo out and cover a lot of ground. It has the no-stick reed system. No matter where you hunt in the country, no matter how cold it gets or how wet it gets, this call is not going to stick or hang up on you. It's a good close-in call. Does the soft coaxing sounds very well, but where it's really got it is a long range, reaching out there, calling a deer at long distance. Now you got a full range call that'll work for you in any kind of weather condition. Now you're going to have deer hearing your call that have never heard your grunts before. Give the Monster Bucks call a try. I think you'll find more deer responding to your call this fall. I'm Brad Harris, and that's your Realtree Outdoors tip.
I tell you guys, a couple of days I had a chance to spend with Joe Talent sitting in a tree stand down in Texas. I really appreciated that because it made me more aware of just when we think things get tough, they really aren't. Joe battled bone cancer, and even though he lost part of his leg, I feel like that boy whipped it because you won't find any self-pity there.
No, you won't.
I'll tell you what, with Sunich, and I mentioned this earlier, is probably the greatest inspiration I've ever had in hunting. I've had an opportunity to hunt a lot of years, but just to spend those 3 or 4 days with Joe, and it was just a great inspiration for all of us. But I'll tell you one thing about that guy. He's gutsy. He was up every morning with all of us and went to bed with us late every night and hunted just as hard as we did.
That's exactly right. He's ready to go when you are.
Yeah, he really is. We talked so much about Texas, and Joe's hunt was on Encinitas, but we had another memorable hunt from Encinitas that we hadn't shown yet. And
yeah, but I really didn't think we were going to show that.
Well, I think it needs to be shown because this guy right here, folks. We occasionally he's a good hunter, a good bow shot. And we turned him loose, basically, at the latter part of the season. He got an opportunity to bow hunt with a camera.
And he figured the deer out.
And he figured it out, did a great job. The only thing is, I think we probably need to save it and show everybody. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, there's not much I can say about that.
Well, there's nothing you can say. Thank goodness, the targets don't have horns, but,
I can't say it hurts an awful lot.
It hurts. Well, I tell you what, it was a great deer. You did a great job getting on him. And then I had a great hunt in Mexico.
But things get better, Mike.
I'm hoping. I'm looking for the bright light out there.
And I tell you, Bill, went to Mexico and again brought back truly a monster buck down there. I mean, that was an incredible buck. The story that goes behind that buck, we won't tell folks everything, but that was a great hunt.
Well, one thing about Texas and a lot of places we hunt in Mexico, we really like getting there during the pre-rut and rut situations, and I think what these folks are going to see a great rallying sequence, and this deer just comes right into us and used a grunt call a little bit, and he just came, real close. But
I'll tell you something else too. When y'all were in Mexico hunting with David Morris, David Morris, in my opinion, knows about as much about whitetail behavior and how to hunt them as anybody I know, and I think a lot of people feel that way. And his book, Hunting Trophy Whitetails, y'all had a chance to talk about that book down in Mexico, Bill, and that's something that we've decided to offer our viewers at a really good price because it's something that's well worth the money.
I think one thing that we all enjoy, and we always talk about this, is we reach a lot of whitetail hunters, and a lot of times these books or the videos aren't available to them, and so we're trying to show you a little bit of how you can get these books. But it's a great book, and what I've got coming up next, we're going to show it first, and we're going to show a hunt with Michael, then my hunt in Mexico. It was a short interview that David and I did in Mexico on my hunt, and let's take a look at that interview and also these exciting hunts. Let's take a look. David, you've been around a long time, and being one of the founders of North American Whitetail, I'm about halfway through this book right here, and I've got to say it's one of the best books I've ever seen.
Well, I appreciate that, Bill. It was a labor of love, I tell you. As you know, I love hunting big whitetails. They're a passion for me, and I wanted to try to get some what I've learned over the years down.
Let me ask you this, being a whitetail hunter myself and knowing your background, where do you start on all this? You know, this book is loaded with information for us, the different phases of the deer, you know, for the year-round period, to rut, to scrape, to after the season. Where do you begin?
Well, you know, when I sat down, Bill, what I wanted to do is try to cover the whole spectrum of whitetail hunting, what the animal is. And a trophy whitetail is a different animal. He's not the same as a young buck. So the first thing I did was looked at what a trophy is and how they're different from other bucks. Then we looked at where they are, because you know where is the key to really killing big whitetails. You got to hunt where big ones are. You can't kill them if they're not there. So then I did a big section on where and what it takes to have trophy whitetails. And the other thing was when to hunt them. And that relates to weather conditions and movement patterns, but also to the time of the year. You know, I did the season pattern, the 4 periods of the rut, so to speak, and we're looking at the pre-rut and the scraping period and the rut and the post-rut period. And whitetails behave entirely different during those 4 periods of the rut. So we looked at that, and then we looked at how to hunt them. And whitetails, trophy whitetails are different. Because they are, you have to hunt them differently. And we got into the tactics on it and looked at it, and got a big section on how to hunt them. So I tried to cover all aspects of hunting trophy whitetails in that book.
Oriented to ground cover for bedding than they are the overhead canopy, so they can lay anywhere out here in this.
In Hunting Trophy Whitetails, David breaks down into specifics all aspects of challenging mature whitetail bucks. Not only how to read deer sight, but how to interpret the big picture when going after a particular buck. You'll enjoy nearly 500 pages with over 300 photos and illustrations in Hunting Trophy Whitetails. Also, Dick Idle's Hunting the 4 Periods of the Rut successfully analyzes the all-important rut process and tells you how to pattern deer throughout the fall so precisely that you can actually predict what the deer will be doing before you ever step foot into the woods. Another great addition to your hunting library is Great Whitetail Hunts. Go into the field with top deer hunters as they share their most exciting and memorable hunts. You'll map strategy, experience the highs and lows of the hunt before coming face-to-face with a buck of a lifetime. These 3 classic books will entertain you and make you a better hunter. They're offered only in hardback and make great gifts for any occasion. As a special offer, buy more than 1 book and take $5 off the price of additional books of any title. These 3 must-read books are endorsed by the Realtree team. Call today. Back to the hunting. As you probably already figured, Michael had a rare opportunity to step out from behind the camera and bull hunt on the Encinitas. Being quite an accomplished hunter and one of the country's top turkey callers, it's usually a safe bet to go with Michael when it's him versus the game. This is not one of those times. Better yet, let's just say it's part of bow hunting. Michael had strategically repositioned his strong-built tripod stand closer to the thick line of brush where he'd seen several deer cross the day before. The very first time on the stand, which is usually the best time, a good buck appears, traveling parallel to the brush. Here's a big deer. Here's a big buck. Glancing around behind him, Michael spots a tremendous 8-pointer closing the distance. What a rack! He's coming. He's coming right down. Oh God, I hope he don't smell us. Michael slowly gets into position. This buck is going to walk all over Michael. With a Realtree Extra Brown working perfectly, Michael comes to full draw undetected. The buck is only 10 yards away. It's only until now that Michael realizes it was a clean miss, right under the buck.
I mean, he come in perfect. Perfect. And I blew it. I blew it. That's exactly what I did. I blew it.
Now, one way to look at it, he'll be bigger next year. Next, let's cross over the Rio Grande River for a hunt with Bill that was lined up through Cabela's Outdoor Adventures.
Folks, what we're going to be doing today, this is, actually, we hunted in here this morning. This is actually a pear flat that you see in here behind me. And the best way I can relate it to you is kind of like a power line or a cut line at home. It's got heavy brush on each side. It's kind of up on a little plateau, a little hill. It slopes off. So, got a lot of rubs and scrapes. Well, in fact, I came here yesterday morning, scouted it out. Just a perfect place for, good whitetails. And we put some stands in here at lunchtime and set yesterday afternoon and saw a good buck. But we came back this morning, saw a few other bucks in here. Just a great place. It's a little overcast today. We're getting to the stand early. We're going to sit probably 4 or 5 hours this afternoon. We're going to see what happens. But great place for big whitetail.
Glassing the area thoroughly, Bill hopes to spot a glimpse of a big buck he had seen and mistakenly passed on the day before. Only until the footage was replayed back at camp did Bill realize he'd made a mistake. As luck would have it, the big boy returns. What a buck. No doubt he's a shooter. Bill gets a good look through the Simmons binoculars. Bill steadies the rifle. Good shot.
Oh, that could be a great shot. Oh, folks. That is a dandy, dandy buck.
Bill now knew he had a great Mexico buck.
Oh, what a dandy buck. Look at the size of this deer. Second chance buck. What a great, great deer. Look at this fine Mexico whitetail. 11 pointer. Got a pointer right there for 11, but look at the tine length in here. Good G4s, good brow tines, got good mass, good spread. Nothing wrong with this deer at all. I'm very proud to take this deer. It's very seldom. I saw this deer yesterday afternoon, and he kind of fooled me a little bit. We've been seeing the ranchers have been seeing a good deer in here, actually bigger than this deer. And so when I saw this deer yesterday, I kind of underestimated him, and I let him get away from me, and I went back in, looked at that footage last night, and I said, I made a mistake, and I said, well, I see him again. And I was very fortunate he came back, but this is a great deer.